Alright, hey, I am Game Masterdon, and today I am going over the Sailor's Boon hero sheets that I made for Gen Con. What I like to do when I make characters is I have these notepad files, have this kind of general setup, but this stuff is very specific, very build centered, not user friendly at all. Like, look at this Ice Blaster. It is just a cavalcade of nonsense. And if I was just copy pasting this onto a sheet, handing it to somebody, that would not be so great, especially a player who's never played before. So we're keeping it very chill with my sheets. In this case, we've got sidearm, needle burst, ice seekers. All of these guys, the Sailor's Boon heroes, are very much a Super Sentai squad. Power Ranger, Sailor Moon, Sailor's Boon is the ship they're on. A very heavy-handed spoof. No big deal. The way I've set these guys up is they have civilian mode and they have suited up mode. Uh, Suited up mode numbers are to the right of the vertical bar. So for this guy, he is quick on his feet. It's going to be hard to shoot him in civilian mode, but punching him in the face, very easy. Surviving a bullet wound, not very easy unless he's suited up. Big, huge boost to strength and stamina. This is pretty much the default stat for every one of these guys, I think. Yeah, 2-6, 2-6. They're all pretty much built off of the same base build. Copy paste this doc. But they all have, different themed powers. So this is Sailor Blue, the engineer who keeps the ship running. They're all on a post-apocalyptic cruise ship traveling through an alien-infested Earth where alien tourists have ruined the ocean with all their tourist garbage. And some of that tourist garbage happened to be Super Sentai power activation rings that they collected. Here we go. Sailor Blue, he is the water guy, obviously. He can swim, which is a lot of fun. I think maybe one of the other guys can swim. And I mean, naturally, as like humans, everyone can swim, but this guy can swim at high speeds like a dolphin. All right, back to his powers. Every one of these Power Ranger guys, once they shift into their power armor, they can summon their signature weapon. In this case, Ranger Blue, his is an Ice Needle Blaster. Its basic form is just a classic needle burst. Taka, 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 taka. Tons of ice coming out. Just real nasty. His next move is a freeze wave. Now, this doesn't deal any specific damage, but each time you hit someone with it, it slowly, as long as they keep failing their saves against it, it will eventually freeze them solid into an immovable ice block for a minute until the ice breaks. Very nasty bit of tech here. He's also got these ice seekers, which are little ice arrows that homing missile around. So if you miss your first shot, they come back around the next round. And of course, Big Snowball, just an ice-based fireball spell. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Civilian advantages are very simple. Move by action, instant up, quick draw. A lot of my characters in these Gen Con one-shots just have all this by default. These are kind of the I just want to play the game advantages. Mutants and Masterminds by default, to stand up burns an entire move action. Instant up makes it free. So I don't know any player that doesn't put instant up on their character. And quick draw just lets you swap weapons for free. It's instead of just burning a whole move action to holster one weapon to draw out another weapon. The rest of these advantages are all come from the suit. Power attack, defense roll, accurate attack. Takedown is a particularly fun one. In Mutants and Masterminds, there are minions. So a lot of times your big supervillain will have minions. This is functionally similar to D&D minions of the past. Any amount of damage they take, they go down. So with takedown, once you take a minion down, you get to make that same attack to all the guys in the general adjacent vicinity. It's just a nice, easy way to kind of clip through a bunch of random, easy takedown guys. The rest of these, improved aim, all-out attack, pretty simple. Every one of these guys, you're on a post-apocalyptic ship, so everyone's got a sidearm at the ready. There isn't a single unarmed individual on this cruise vessel. Just a basic sidearm, but every one of these Sailor's Boon heroes has a power ring of some sort. Since Sailor Blue is the water guy, I figure he's got the healing ring. Now, the unique feature about all these rings is that their range is perception, which means that as long as you can see the target area or the target creature, you can just get them. You don't even have to roll to attack. Just the area or the guy just makes their save. It's a pretty powerful and fun addition to the system. This is also what you would do if you were making like Magic Missile. Anyway, that is the general gist of the Sailor Blue. Next up, we've got the green. He is the angler. I figure he's the guy who is in charge of all the fishing. Simple stuff. He just happens to have the fishing themed green suit. His signature weapon is a fishing pole. Your classic fly fishing pole. This thing has amazingly long reach. So he could pretty much hit anything on the ship at any time, as long as he can get that line around. Now, this thing's got a feature that allows he can whip and slice up all the guys on the vessel, but one of them that he hits, he can choose to try and fast grab them, which means that the guy has to make a save against his grab DC, which is very high. It's going to be very difficult not to get captured by this fishing line. Next up, he's got the Tangler. Now, this is a kind of ready-to-action sort of state-based effect where you designate an area, and then anyone coming into that area has a chance of getting wrapped up and snagged in your net, which this thing is called the Leviathan Wrangler, so it could capture even giant monsters. Very fun little bit here. And then you can concentrate on it round after round as a standard action. So it can actually come to the point where a bunch of enemies are like running towards it and they all just stumble in, and then every one of them just gets slowed or gets immobilized or even gets the worst case, which is bound, transformed, bound. That just means they can't do anything. His next mode is sort of another one of these great reaction takes. An attack. This one is an attack of opportunity where you go into a kind of fly fishing stance, and anyone who approaches you gets an attack of opportunity as long as they come within 30 feet of you. He also has takedown, accurate attack, simple stuff here. for advantages. His got the sidearm, but his ring is grease. He can grease up the whole place. He could grease up the entire ship if he wanted, but this one also has selective. So he could basically polka dot the entire place with grease. He could graffiti it, graffiti the whole ship with his name in black grease everywhere. Classic slip and slide stuff. Very fun. I think this guy's going to be a lot of fun. This is actually based on one of my player characters in a home game made this fishing power. So I'm transferring it over into a Super Sentai crew because it's just such a fun utility power. And next up, Sailor Purple. This guy is the master of ceremonies. Every cruise ship, even in an apocalypse, has got to have the party guy. His unique weapon is the umbrella cannon. Your classic the penguin umbrella. So out of you got your umbrella and then it arcs that little point on the top. That shoots invisible rays, which have a secondary effect, so they deal damage on the next round. We've seen a bit of that so far. He also has the deflection. He can add this to an entire area, so he can deflect with his umbrella. You may remember if you watched the previous Beast in the Tall Grass, that one also has basically the same exact power, except it's bird themed. Then he's got Dome of Obfuscation, which is a shadowy cloud, sort of a darkness spell type of thing from D&D, except it also blocks out sound and smell. Just a real nasty bit of work. Then, of course, Safety John, a full-on blatant teleport ability, which also happens to have the ability to bring along 3 tons worth of matter. So, as long as the target is either inanimate or willing, you can get pretty nasty with this kind of thing. I am now realizing that I forgot to add the slow fall to the umbrella. You'll notice over here, safe fall, which I need to put right underneath the umbrella cannon bit. Does he fly? No, the purple guy is one of the swim guys. Okay. Advantages, all the classics. All out attack is new. This one lets you nerf your defenses for attack bonus. And of course, his ring is invisibility ring. So he can turn anyone invisible and then keep them invisible as a standard action each round. That's a classic fun little move there. He's kind of all about illusions and defenses. That's the purple guy. Sailor Red, obviously the fire guy. He is just a beefy fella. Burning Pummel. His thing is the Kaiju Masher. It's a giant red hammer with a lot of fire theme to it. Burning Pummel. Rapid fire strikes. Not too much fluff. Big damage. Then he's got the Burning Wave. Just the classic fire out from Diablo. And, you get your big warrior comes down, smashes, and then a big fire wave shoots out along the ground. That's what we're talking about here. Hammer hurl, just overhand hammer toss. And echo smash. This is when you hit a guy and they catch on fire and then burn on the next round as well. Very, very simple beat 'em up type character here. And of course, his ring sets things he can see on fire. Very simple. He's kind of got the most battle-oriented advantages. Smash things out of people's out of people's arms, disarm people. Very, very simple. Now, one of the things with this hammer hurl is that unlike the Beast in the Tall Grass guys, whose weapons are all physical equipment that can be disarmed or broken entirely, the Sailor's Boon weapons are manifestations of their alien technology. So even if he throws that hammer just at will, it'll pop right back into his hand, and that's true for every one of these characters' weapons. Next up, we got the Silver guy. This is your anime sword dude. He has rapid fire strikes that have great reach because his sword creates a wind blade. He also has wind cut. This is a 60-foot slice. Your classic anime, I do the strike and then all the trees slide, hit the ground, and tip over. He also has the Storm Dash, which is, again, the anime sword strike, where in a blink of an eye, you're over here, and then you're over here, and everyone in between gets cut. Then he's got a blinding cut. Now, this is a cut that comes along with a fortitude save versus blindness. So each degree of failure, because Mutants and Masterminds fails their saves in degrees, each degree of failure nerfs vision. He's got the silver power armor. He's the fastest. And his ring is all about manipulating the wind. You know, blow everyone off of the side of the boat, force guys to have to push against the wind as they're coming towards you down the thin aisles of the boat, etc. Lastly, we've got Sailor Yellow. He is the lightning guy. He can fly exceptionally fast. His Storm Blaster has a ricochet ray, so you could, you know, hit guys around corners. It's one of the ricochet. It's a very cool Mutants and Mastermind effect. A lot of times you'll throw it on on knives, some kind of knife toss for trick shots, Daredevil style. And then he's got your classic lightning bolt. This is just full-on lightning bolt from D&D, except it's not quite as long. Zap field. This is like a Emperor Palpatine lightning. It just like fills an entire area. You can hold on to it. There is no safety measure for this, though. Everyone in the field is going to get zapped. Very deadly effect, but perfect for holding people at bay as the rest of your party gets their act together. Then you may see this tractor beam. This is a very different tractor beam than the Beast in the Tall Grass one. This one only affects metal objects, but it also affects way more weight, 25 tons worth of weight. Now, I don't know how heavy a cruise ship is supposed to be, but most of the rubble and random garbage that'll surround the boat will be made of metal. So there's going to be a lot of fun that this player can have when it comes to flinging stuff around. Especially because a lot of the enemies will have metal stuff on them, and he'll be able to use that to his advantage. Very fun. Silver power suit is a misprint. That should say yellow power suit, but the descriptor is accurate. Pretty regular stuff for advantages, and he's got the Bone Shaker ring, which can stun people. Basically, zap them from a distance. Infinite range taser. Anyway, that is the last of these guys that I wanted to talk about. I don't really know how this is going, these off the cuff random talks. They do seem to be getting a little long, so I might try and speed through the next one. Luckily, the lab bats of all these guys have the least going on with them that is even worth talking about. Anyway, like, subscribe, come back for the next one. It'll be all about bat sheets. I don't even know if these are even going to be any fun to watch. We'll find out, I guess.